Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero and we are back again talking about this Rippaverse lawsuit that's about to go down. I'm sure people have already heard about it, but we are going to take a look at everything with this, and we'll be taking a more in-depth look tomorrow around noon on YouTube in a live stream. We're going to see everything kind of leading up to it and everything currently out there. So join me tomorrow around noon. I would say at noon on YouTube. We're gonna be taking a look at everything. So currently sitting at $2.269 million as it heats up in the last couple days of the campaign. Of course, I've said previously, cover D will be available after the campaign is over. You just can no longer get covers A, B, C, or I think the short box, or I don't think you can do any more donations to comic books for kids after the campaign's done. But as you can see, the numbers of 12,230 for cover A, 12,654 for cover B, 3,889 for cover C, 2,452 for cover D, 2,203 total books donated, with 19,445 total purchasers. So we're gonna get right into everything here. We had Mark the Cyborg. Shout out to Mark the Cyborg, talking about the video that Eric put out yesterday with the lawsuit, saying, "I've listened to the Dick Show for years. So when Vito started going down after my friends, I wrote it off as petty YouTuber drama. Now it's real stuff with real consequences. Why do this, Vito? You could have ignored Eric's comic and focused on your own book. And of course, because he didn't focus on his own book, his book is currently delayed. And it only hit 6 figures. It's never going to hit 7 figures because no one actually cares about Vito, considering he defended that Netflix movie about the children that we're not going to talk about." Moving on over to Rippaverse Goalposts Twitter account. Of course, he's talking about this video where Vito says he didn't do it. We're going to skim through it a little bit for here, but more than likely we're going to do more of that on the live stream. And we have, of course, Dick Masterson saying, "Does Eric July really accuse me of masterminding this ISOM lawsuit against him in his newest pay pig cope video?" So again, using that word pay pig as in people who just want to pay for great comic books that are outside the mainstream. We're all of a sudden pay pigs because we want to buy a book and support a creator that we like. But what do they call the people that support you, Dick? I guess we can call them pay pigs too, considering they support a person who falsely accused another person of charity fraud constantly when that never really happened. Vito saying, "This claim that I helped coordinate a gay op against Eric July is 100% bogus. The truth is that a very silly individual decided to send out emails pretending to be a journalist working for my podcast. I have zero control over how other people conduct themselves online." It just all sounds like damage control to me. Of course, like I say, he put out this video. We're going to take a look at it as well as a couple other videos. His Rippaverse Goalposts YouTube channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. He makes quite a few videos about the Rippaverse detractors. This is the video for Vito, and we're going to look at really quick here.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Probably having a better day than me. My day sucks because a bunch of people on the internet are lying about me, and I don't know.
Well, you've constantly been talking crap about Eric's comic book universe, comic book company for over a year now, and now that possible legal lawsuits are gonna hit your doorstep and papers are gonna be presented to you, now all of a sudden you want to say, "I didn't do anything. It's not my fault."
About you, but I personally don't like when people lie about me. When people make up things I've done, when people accuse.
You mean kind of like how you're doing to Eric July? You've been doing it for over a year, similar to an actual fandom or organized chaos or any of those weirdo fandom initiative people. You've been lying about Eric July for over a year now. So you want to try to sit up here and be on the soapbox talking about you don't like when people lie about you, yet you sit here and lie about other people.
Accuse me of things I haven't done, accuse me of impersonating people or making fake accounts and running ops, okay? Makes me not happy, makes me upset. So I'm going to address it. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to try and keep it quick and concise. Here we go. There's a comic named ISOM. It's made by a guy named Eric July. I have political disagreements with Eric July. I don't like Eric July, and I think his comic sucks. And I've
Good for you. No one cares. You try to act like your opinion is gospel, and no one actually gives a crap what you have to say about anything because you support that Cuties film.
talked about it here. I've talked about it on my podcast. Okay, I'm a critic. Okay, guys, I critique movies. I critique, television shows. I critique comic books. and I read ISOM, and I think it sucks, and I talked about it. This has led to
Yeah, you pirated it. We know. We already know you pirated it because you're too broke to actually buy an actual copy of this book.
an ongoing feud between myself and Eric July. He doesn't like.
There is no feud between you two. You were the one that engaged with Eric July, and he decided to ignore your ass, and you got upset and angry about it, and your boy Dick Masterson got jealous for you because your comic isn't selling anywhere near as Eric's comics are, and you both got salty about it, and you disagree with Eric so much that you decided you're gonna do things to try to derail his business. Let's stop the cat.
That we talk about how much we don't like his comic. Okay, whatever. It's a stupid internet feud, and ultimately, this is free speech.
Again, there's no internet feud. You engaged with Eric. He told you to screw off, and you continue to engage and instigate and look like a fool. And now you're about to look like a fool even more by being served papers, I'm sure.
I have the right to say I don't like a guy's comic. I have the right to say I think a guy's running his business badly, and that's what it comes down to. Now, people are enjoying this feud. It's an ongoing feud. We talk about it on my podcast, which some of you listen to. The biggest problem in the universe.
Once again, it's not a feud. It's just you reacting. You're like essentially a reply guy is what you are. Eric don't give a crap about you that much. You're simply a reply guy. That's what you are. You are a reply guy.
Universe, and a lot of fans really like the ongoing ISOM Eric July banter. Clearly, one fan went too far, wanted to make themselves a part of the feud or a part of the.
Obtuse Gnome is not a fan of Eric July or the Rippaverse or ISOM, so please stop lying.
Drama or whatever else, and decided they could go out and pretend that they worked for the podcast and start sending these stupid emails that are causing trouble for people. So here was an email that was sent by a guy named obtusegnome@gmail.com. And I'll be very clear about my relationship with this individual. This is a fan of the show. Okay, I've DM'd with them in the past on Twitter. At one point, they had reached out to a charity that works with Eric July, and they had sent us the email that they.
Yes, essentially trying to derail someone's business, trying to derail a relationship that Eric July has with a charity called Comic Books for Kids. You were all about that. We're going to show it all here. Don't worry.
Sent to the charity. We talked about that on the show. Okay, so this is a person I've contacted in the past, but let's be clear.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about it on the show. It's in this video. Not this video. This video. We know you talked about it. We know you talked about it. It's in here.
This is the final email that I got.
So we have a tweet where he uses this email, seemingly pointing to an example of
Is there enough backstory?
this charity at all. They did down talk them as well.
Here we go.
Is there
for
enough
kids.
backstory for Comic Books for Kids?
Okay.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't want to fuck up that guy's deal. The
Right,
comic book
the
charity
charity?
guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but then I thought, fuck it.
And your laugh is just absolutely obnoxious. The fact that you laughed because Dick said he's going to mess with a charity that Eric July is associating and working with, donating thousands of dollars and donating thousands of comic books to.
This is a bad charity, first of all.
And this is where I said, well, I probably shouldn't say this kind of stuff because it'll fuck up this guy's deal. But again,
It's already happened.
fuck it.
Perhaps screaming false.
So that's the talk you had with the Comic Books for Kids. Let's just stop the bullshit, because you're full of crap, Vito. You are absolutely full of crap.
I have a lot of fans of the show who DM me stuff, who send me stuff for the show. I don't know these people very well. I don't know who this guy is. I've never met this guy. I've definitely never told this guy, hey, you work for the show. Go out and represent the show. You can use our name. You can make crazy claims.
Yet you've never said anything about the claims of we that you decided to make.
About being a journalist who works for the show. This was a fan of the show who, yes, in the past has sent us material for the show, and we used it, but we had no working relationship with this guy.
Him sending you stuff and you using it is kind of a working relationship in a way.
Send us all sorts of material for the show. People send in songs, people send in fan art, people send in articles for us to read on the show. Okay, that doesn't mean they're a part of the show. That doesn't mean they're our employees. That doesn't mean that we are working with them or giving them authorization to act on our behalf. So this guy, this fan of the show, who I'm obviously very upset with that they went out and did this, they sent an email to this organization called the International School of Ministry, also known as ISOM. So it's another...
Which, by the way, ISOM in this case with the comic is not an acronym. It's not an abbreviation of an organization. It's a character's name, which is why this trademark has no bearing.
Business that uses the word ISOM to represent their business. Basically reached out, said, I'm an independent journalist working for the biggest problem in the universe. That's our podcast. I really have to stress, if anyone asks, hey, can I use your name to send emails? No, you're not allowed. Don't do that. There. Bottom line, okay? We would never allow someone to do this. Reached out to these people and said, I want to know about your relationship with Eric July. When did you give him permission to use your name? Is he, when did you help him make his comic book, whatever else? Screwing around, causing weird troubles, using a weird fake name, Roy Gerbil. I don't know what that is. And basically this apparently has led to this International School of Ministry.
But apparently you know who the person is.
Saying, oh, this guy makes a point, like maybe there's a trademark claim here because now, this person has confused ISOM the character with ISOM, the International School of Ministry, and they're now suing Eric July for trademark infringement. They're saying he's not allowed to use the name ISOM. Okay, I understand that nobody wants to get sued for a trademark violation. And
which this isn't really a trademark violation, it's a load of garbage.
I'm very upset that this fan was fucking around and misrepresenting us and creating this stupid drama. But Eric July...
I mean, you created drama yourself.
...is now claiming that I sent this email, that I am obtuse gnome, that I have been secretly maintaining a fake account.
Just remember that all the receipts haven't been put out there yet, so... If Eric July is saying it, it could possibly be true. He might just have some evidence to back up what he's claiming.
...to send emails and try and destroy his business. He's saying this because, again, this guy previously sent us stuff for the show that we used on the show. We showed one of his emails between him and this charity, and he's saying, oh, you can see, they said we got this thing from the charity. They meant we, as in they sent the email. No, we meant we, as in somebody who's a fan of the show, someone from the fan community went out and asked Eric July's charity some questions, and we thought it was relevant, so we put it on the show. We didn't mean we're out here sending these stupid emails.
However, you were trying to derail his relationship between him and the charity. You've openly admitted that. You've already shown that. Did not mean to do that.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Someone from the fan community went out and asked Eric July's charity some questions. Emailed the charity and we got information. That email wasn't stupid. This email claiming that he works for us and making shit up, this is very clearly a stupid email. Okay, so the claim is that this is a sock puppet account that we set up specifically to harass people. Guys, you can go on Twitter. Even though this guy is banned, Obtuse Gnome, you can look up his old tweets. Or you can look up people responding to his old tweets. Here I've been able to pull up tweets going all the way back to 2016, 2017. Okay, so this guy was active on Twitter for the last 6 or 7 years, and you could see he was having all these conversations with people. Here he was arguing with people about veganism. He was arguing with PETA. We can't see his tweets anymore because his account's been banned, but we can see.
He's been arguing with Eric July for the last, I don't know, 6 months probably.
At Obtuse Gnome, all the people who were talking to him. He was in hundreds of conversations over the past 7 years. The idea that this is a fake account, that for the last 7 years I've been... This guy is. All I can tell you is he was a fan of the show. Occasionally he DM'd us. He said, does not make him a contributor of the show. That does not make him an employee. Guys, we can't control what our... I have 25,000 subscribers.
Now we're going to move over to what Eric had to say about everything. We'll listen to the full context here.
Maybe you've heard of this by now, but this is a thing. Good Shepherd is alleging that we have had unauthorized use of their trademark. Don't worry, I have one of the best legal teams. This is something multi-million-dollar companies deal with all the time. We'll be handling this. Inevitably, my detractors are going to latch onto this as if it's some gotcha, oh, he slipped up. But now is the time
And he predicted that to be correct.
to be serious. Outside of the given context, most of what I'm about to say isn't even aimed at the people that filed the lawsuit. The internet is an interesting place. We make fun of each other, and we can do that. We can make our gripes known, and we can dislike others. This is something that every individual is free to do. But I'd
That's 100% correct.
like to think that there's a line that shouldn't be crossed when it comes to initiating conflict. At minimum, one should be prepared to deal with those consequences. I certainly am. This has real world implications, and because livelihoods are potentially impacted,
Yes, I've said that plenty of times as well. When the Fats essentially tried to take down my Twitch channel because I existed. And because I talk crap about them and I call them out on their nonsense when it comes to Rippaverse and Eric July all the time.
I must take this seriously as the owner of this company. What we have right now is a textbook example of gay ops. Not too long ago, there was an accusation of false flagging, and I'm going to show you an example of fair use. Let's set the scene. There's more than likely some reference to me before, but a fat person by the name of Vito really ramped up his public hatred of me at the launch of the Rippaverse last year.
He sure did during ISOM #1's launch. I've got all of that on my channel. I have all of that stuff on my channel, and so does Eric.
Then, very frequently, this person has made a point to speak negatively about me and this company. Oddly enough, his friend joined in. Once I publicly rejected the opinions that were masked as a review of ISOM #1, he ramped up his public down talking. He can word it as if I'm the one tripping at the criticism, but having his
Buster Baxter had zero criticism about the book. All he did was nitpick nonsense and talk about how certain things weren't answered in the book that were clearly answered because his reading comprehension is absolute dog shit.
opinion be dissected and then be discarded may have hurt his feelings. Since then, I've had several other things, very interesting things that have been levied at me, and we've collected the receipts on those. I can't give you everything. But this is how the internet works, so talking noise isn't a problem. There are drama farmers out there, they need to conjure up things. Some may consider it to be admirable that they have to talk about me to get the most engagement. But what happened out of this?
That's just a fact. Buster Baxter is always talking about Eric, and that's the only time he gets really any interaction or any clicks at all.
Is what you'll take exception to. You may be thinking, why would something like this happen now? We are 2 books in and a full year removed from the launch of the Rippaverse. This may have something to do with it. In this lawsuit, they allege July Rippa's accusations have caused actual confusion. An example of that actual confusion is shown in the following highlighted copy of an unsolicited email from a third party in which the sender specifically mentions the identity of the trademark ISOM and the cross on the hero's belt. They then show this email from some guy named Obtuse Gnome that was apparently sent to them. In it, a guy claims that he is a journalist by the name of Roy. He concern trolls pretending like he is doing a story of our success. After acting as if he loves to see this, he states, I would be curious to know when the decision was made to make a comic book character using the same name as the International School of Ministry. Has Mr. July received any funding to aid him in the creation of superhero ISOM?
Yeah, he received funding from supporters and fans of his content. That's where he got his funding from. The customer.
Info on the choice to have ISOM have an image of a cross on his belt. What we can hope to see with continuation of ISOM on his journey to rescue Jasmine from prostitution. And if you could, the amazing choice to offer the buyers the option to donate a copy of ISOM #2. He then says, I thank you so much extending your trademarked name in such a unique way and the creation of a new superhero. It is apparent that this person knew what they were doing. They were attempting to encourage a baseless lawsuit. But look again at the beginning and the end of this email. This person claims they were journalists for TDS News and TPBITU. Those obviously stand for the show of the two individuals, the Dick Show and the biggest problem in the universe. So, is there actually a connection between the two individuals and this person that sent this email? Well, let's discuss. This person goes by the name Obtuse Gnome in their email. There happened to be a Twitter account under that same exact name that has since been suspended for Lord knows what. This account used to tweet constantly at me and about me, and he only popped up.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I have the receipts and on many of my videos.
After these two individuals kicked off their hatred of me. Here's an old screenshot from when the account was active. A new account has popped up under a similar name, profile picture, and what do you know? Look who the first three accounts are that this person followed. Surely it's just a coincidence, right? It gets worse. Back in July, we announced that we would be working with comic books for kids. The first three accounts.
You can see that it's Vito, biggest problem in the universe, and Dick Masterson, who follows him too.
Accounts are that this person followed. Surely it's just a coincidence, right? It gets worse. Back in July, we announced that we would be working with comic books for kids, an organization that has tasked itself with getting comics to kids in need. As to be expected, these two attempted to delegitimize our efforts and made some very bold accusations that we have receipts on. In this tweet right here, Vito claims we asked the charity if they need more comics. In that tweet, he shows an email from Mark, who is the owner of Comic Books for Kids. Sharing this may have been a critical error because we were able to obtain the entire email chain. In the original email, you see that Vito tried to block out the name. The original contact is from the same email from a guy by the same name. Yet again, concern trolling, this time acting as if he is so concerned about comic books for kids being scammed. Here's the original email.
Which he's not.
Without the name being blacked out, you see Mark refers to him as Roy. Again, what we have here is Vito himself using the term we, which would suggest he's included with this specific contact. Never mind if this could be interference, just how involved are they in this? Well, here they are on the show referring to contacting comic books for kids.
So we contacted that charity. So this is the final email that I got.
So we have a tweet where he uses this email seemingly pointing to an example of we being in contact with the charity, and on video it looks as if he does something similar. Remember, this is all a concern troll, and one can question if they care about this charity at all. They did down talk them as well.
Comic books
Is there
for
enough
kids.
backstory for comic books for kids?
Okay.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't want to fuck up that guy's deal.
Right.
Perhaps
This kind of stuff because we'll fuck up this
We're
guy's
gonna
deal.
skip
But
it a little
again,
ahead 'cause
sorry,
you already
yeah.
showed
Fuck
this
it.
part.
Perhaps screaming false flagger turns a lie into truth or something, or makes one feel justified in their questionable behavior. If you think that this was in response to those nonsensical allegations against me in early August, well, look at the timestamp. The claims that were in reference to the charity were made a full month before that. These claims could have been an attempt to get myself or the company in trouble with the state, and I didn't initiate that. What does false flagger even mean in this context? Here we see one of them saying, I am on a false flagging spree because this account that was suspended, but the suspended account doxed one of our warehouse addresses and a personal home address, apparently.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't a false flag. It was essentially a reporting of a person who was doing something illegal on Twitter or X.
That is false flagging. Could it be that someone is working overtime to attempt to ruin my life and what I've built? I mean, this was said in that video.
I'm an asshole for fun. I like it. If I can say I'm doing it for kids,
Yeah.
it's just a socially acceptable way for me to act like a psychopath.
Yeah.
See?
Well, you are a psychopath.
So this is a big opportunity for me to be cruel to people.
No, it's a big opportunity for you to look like a goddamn lolcow. Because that's what you're used to looking like. A freaking lolcow.
I think this is also, it's really important that
It's called motivation.
How expensive this is going to be, that's the golden question. So now the rules for the playing field have been set. and I'm the responding agency. Parties have shown that they have no problem either using the state against us themselves or running op campaigns to maybe push someone else to do it for them. This impacts not only myself, but the dozens of other employees and contractors that work for our company. Now, we sniffed this out a long time ago, but if we didn't, the ramifications could be very serious. We're talking things that destroy livelihoods and imprison people. Now, of course, there are some people hoping like hell that something like that would happen to myself as they start.
Of course, because detractors are all about wanting to ruin this man's life and his livelihood and his business because they disagree with his opinions and the way he does things.
From hating me and then work backwards. But this is a step above just simple internet trolling or jokes. No longer am I playing around. Again, receipts have been collected, so deleting your posts, videos, and such won't do you any good. Just understand that we will be acting accordingly. It's what you wanted after all. We don't need to run a crowdfunding campaign quite yet. You know where to find us and how to support us. We know you will keep rocking with me and the people that depend on what it is that we've built. Until then, about this specific thing, I'll be moving in silence. We ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, the Rippaverse definitely isn't going anywhere. I don't know why these people thought they were about to ruin this man's life, but like I said, everything, we'll go further into detail about certain things in the live stream tomorrow. I hope to see everybody there, and thank you all for checking out this video. Really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, though, hit that like button. Do not comment or interact or commentate on anybody I've shown in this video. Leave all your comments in the comment section down below. We'll have a conversation there. Subscribe for more content and hit the bell for notifications. Set up the bell to all. That way you get notifications anytime I post a new video or a live stream. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.